Okay. Another history lesson. Please enjoy. Backwards Bob debuted on March 29th, 2008 as part of the Monster Jam World Finals 8 Encore alongside Spitfire. It was driven by former Monster Mutt driver Mike Wine. The truck entered its first full year of competition the following year. Wine driving following Wine's retirement. Backwards Bob competed in the European tour with George Bahan. And Damon Bradshaw shared the driving duties after Bahan suffered an injury in Arnhem. Dustin Brown took over the driving duties. I believe that was in 2009. In 2010, Backwards Bob competed exclusively in that year's international tour. Dan Evans drove the truck in Costa Rica, while rookie driver Barry Musauer drove it in Panama City, Panama. I did some videos of that show if you want to go check it out. Please do. In 2011, this happened. Backwards Bob would campaign exclusively on the Obsession chassis for select Monster Jam shows in California throughout 2011 season, with Rick Swanson driving afterwards. Backwards Bob would be placed on hiatus for 3 years until 2015 when the truck returned to competition under Brian Wright and Ryan Huffaker. At the time, the truck would receive an all-new Racesource chassis until it would be destroyed in a trailer fire. As a result, a spare Backwards Bob body would ran on a spare PEI chassis for the remainder of the season, until a new Backwards Bob was built that following season. Jeez. What is it with those guys and trailer fires? I mean, I don't know how it happened, but I'm sure never mind, moving on. In 2016, Brian Wright left the team to rejoin Monster Trucks Unlimited. thus leaving the door open for Kevin Crocker took over the driving duties following Wright's departure. Both Crocker and Huffaker would share driving duties for the rest of the season until the fourth quarter, when Huffaker retired from competition and Crocker began driving Monster Mutt. Backwards Bob was being placed on indefinite hiatus since then. And there's 3 video game appearances. Okay. This is interesting. The name of the truck was a play on the haircut style of the same name. Between 2012 and 2014, Backwards Bob would be still featured in Monster Jam souvenir yearbooks, despite being placed on hiatus. For that occasion, the character featured on the truck, Bob, was displayed as the driver. Backwards Bob's backup chassis used throughout the 2015 season was the previous Northern Nightmare chassis, which had suffered a fire. So that's how that happened. For Hot Wheels releases, Backwards Bob featured both of the bodies and tires to be facing the same way as the chassis, despite the truck would be packaged backwards. This issue was fixed by Spin Master for their release of Backwards Bob in 2020. Good for them. Hooray for Spin Master. As I barely have my collection. After running Backwards Bob in 2011, Rick Swanson would keep the idea, later created his own reverse truck, Wrong Way Rick, in 2012, as shown the toys, both the toys and video games. The tailgate of Backwards Bob showcased the phrase "Here I Come," as the phrase never appeared on the actual truck, as the tailgate was neither non-existent nor transparent. To improve the driver's vision,